and welcome to Beyond Medals, your ultimate live stream coverage for the Asian Games. I'm Yang Xinmo. Now, before we dive headfirst into the show, I've got a fun question for you. If you could think outside the box and introduce a totally unique event to the Games, what crazy and wild idea would you bring to the table? Let's get creative.
I would pick tongue twister challenge in different languages so everyone can compete in tongue twister and to speak in your language.
For me, it would be ultimate dog walking. While I'm in Hangzhou, I'm really going to miss my dog. So I thought, wouldn't it be awesome if I could take my dog through all that lovely scenery?
This time for me, that will be the teleportation. For me, I would like to be on the same time in Beijing to assuring my work and on the same time be in Hangzhou for the Asian Games on live and to see what's happening there. But unfortunately this time I will be covering everything here in Beijing. So that's why I would really want to have this teleportation if I could.
Well, welcome guys. Take a seat, Xianghui.
Thanks.
Those are really, really creative, but unfortunately, we won't be seeing any of those in this year's Asian Games, but who knows what the future will hold, right? And thank you for tuning in. We are currently streaming on various social media platforms, including Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Chinese Weibo, WeChat, Bilibili, Yangshipin, as well as CGTN's official website. And please join our discussions during the live by sending in #BeyondMedals and leave your comments on our social media platforms. Tell us what you are most interested in this Asian Games. And it's a great pleasure to have three guests joining me in this live. First up, Mike, a colleague of mine from sports department. He's also going to cover the Asian Games from the front line.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me this evening. Really excited to go to Hangzhou. I've never been there before. This is also going to be my first Asian Games. I'm still kind of exhausted from being in Chengdu for the university games. So very busy, but very excited.
Wow, welcome. And also Xianghui, also a colleague of mine from French department. She is currently producing a special show on the Asian Games, right?
Exactly. So this is the name of the show, and also I brought actually the very famous logo of this show to all our guests and also for all our friends here. So it's called We Battle and We Battle. So we representing us here in English, and this We Battle, we in French means yes, we are going to battle. So we're going to battle in which kind of activity and how to battle it. That will be the key question for later on for the breakdancing. So that will be also very new, very brand new event for this Hangzhou Asian Games.
Wow, we battle, that's really smart. And also Vika, a Chinese influencer online and also an esports enthusiast.
Hello everyone, I'm Vika Lee, a Chinese teaching vlogger, and also I'm a big fan for esports. I've been watching esports events actually for 5 years. Wow. So yes, as an esports enthusiast, I will be really dedicated to this time to reporting on esports events.
Oh, looking forward to your report and welcome you all, guys. Asian Games is right around the corner. It's going to start on September 23rd, so next Saturday. And Mike and I are going to Hangzhou, the host city, the day after tomorrow. And Vika she's going to meet us there next
week later.
Yeah, so we're really, really, really excited about it. And
that will be perfect for you because I'll be covering everything from Beijing, so envy you really. But for me, it will be very fun actually to see, even if when I will be working in the French channel, I will be continuing receiving your reports from Hangzhou and to see your different kind of I think there will be culinary tasting. There will be also many sports events coming on, right?
Definitely. I'm also looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to your show, We Battle.
Yeah.
And also, we haven't had the chance to visit the sports venues that will be next week, but there are some reporters who have already had the chance to visit the sports venues in the Asian Games. So I also invited a special guest to join us online, Zhang Yue, a reporter from International Channel Shanghai, to share her insights and experiences with us. Hello, Zhang Yue. Good to see you. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Hi, guys. Thanks for having me.
Well, I know you have been to the Asian Games sports venues already, so please tell us how the preparations are going now. And as a journalist reporting on it, what has been your most significant impression?
Well, first, I just want to say I feel so lucky that I've been to Chengdu last month to cover university games, and now I'm about to go to Hangzhou in just a few days to meet you guys, hopefully. So the city is definitely in full swing, welcoming athletes and visitors from around the world. As a matter of fact, many athletes, coaches and staff have already arrived in the city, making their final preparations for Asian Games. So the airport, the Hangzhou Xiaoshan Airport, said it is expecting a peak of arrival this Saturday and Sunday. So they have set up enough fast-track channels at immigration so that people are able to come through customs more efficiently. And the organizing committee has been organizing drills in the past several months, focusing on departure and arrival services, media services, security, Asian Games Village operations, and also award ceremonies. So they want to make sure everything will be organized smoothly. And onto sports venues, there will be a total of 56 sports venues this year, not only in Hangzhou, but also surrounding cities like Wenzhou, Shaoxing, and Ningbo. And these venues are also making their final preparations. For example, the Wenzhou Olympic Sports Center, the place will be used for football events. And people over there have been checking 18 sensors that were placed under the grass of the pitch. For example, they have been collecting data on humidity, temperature, and sunlight intensity of the pitch so that the place is perfect to host football events. So I'm just so excited for my third trip to Hangzhou of the year.
Well, for sure. Thank you. I'm so excited. I can't wait to go to Hangzhou. And do you have any, before we go, do you have any like recommended must-visit Asian Games exclusive attractions? I know that the city is filled with Asian Games themed elements. What have you found in the city?
Well, I can definitely feel the energy of sports and fitness in the city. I can see lots of sports facilities available to people. For example, like basketball courts, tennis courts, and ping pong tables. They're everywhere in residential communities, street corners, and even under the pedestrian street. I can feel that people are getting more interested in sports activities. And the city has also been trying its best to make these facilities accessible to more people. Hangzhou is a very beautiful city. Many tourist attractions are already well known to people, but I highly recommend you to go to the Asian Games Museum because to me, it's like a window that provides a panoramic view of history and cultural imprint of Asian Games going back more than 70 years. So you can see mascots, gold medals, and the torches from past Asian Games. And you can even see musical instruments that were placed during the closing ceremony in the last Jakarta Asian Games. And I remember there were also 6 sculptures that were donated by the Olympic Council of Asia that is very cool to take pictures with. There's include fencing, equestrian, and archery. And of course, there's an experience zone there for people to immersively try some of the sports by themselves, like ski simulator, golfing, and basketball. And of course, souvenirs are also available there if you want to, purchase something and bring them home.
Well, sounds really captivating. Well, tell us more about the venues. Can you give us a brief introduction to the highlights of the venues? What can we expect?
Yeah, so last time I was in Hangzhou, I was at the Second World Press Briefing. It was an event for reporters from home and abroad to have a better understanding on the progress of preparations of this year's event. So we toured several major stadiums at the Olympic Sports Center. So I will say one of the most eye-catching venues is definitely a butterfly-shaped building that combines an aquatic center and a gymnasium. So the design is inspired by Chinese folktale, the butterfly lovers. The Hangzhou's West Lake is the place where the folktale legend of White Snake was originated. So it's very cool, romantic look building. So the gymnasium will be used for basketball events, and actually you can see it. Actually, you can see it from behind. This is the one I'm talking about, like a butterfly-shaped building. Wow. So the basketball courts can be transferred into ice rink within 6 to 8 hours. So it's the venues can organize other ice events in the future, including figure skating and ice hockey and curling. So we've also toured the Asian Games Village. By the way, the village will be officially open this Saturday. So the village is about 3 to 4 kilometers away from the major stadiums. So it's about 10 to 15-minute drive without traffic. And the village is divided into 3 areas, one for athletes, one for technical officials, and one for media. And that's where I'll be staying. So for reporters like me, if we wanna do some interviews with athletes, it's very convenient because the media village is just down the street. We don't have to take a shuttle or car or something if we wanna interview athletes. Of course, we need to apply for a permit if we wanna interview athletes, but I'm sure protocols won't be a problem. And I'm also impressed with how many trees and plantations and gardens are around sports venues. So yes, very cool. Oh, and I also spoke to several reporters and sports officials from other countries. I remember one representative from Bahrain Swimming Association saying he can see Hangzhou has so many rich history and culture, but he can also see the development that has been put in place. So it's like a merge of culture, history, and development at the same time. So I'm sure that everyone going to the Asian Games will be impressed with Hangzhou and what the city has to offer.
Wow, that's really convenient, and thank you so much again, Zhang Yue, for joining us and for for your introduction. Can't wait to go to Hangzhou.
Thank you,
and hope to see you there.
Yeah, and thank you, Zhang Yue. It's been a very rich introduction and also presentation of what you can do actually there. And also it seems very convenient for journalists covering the whole events because they can have the direct contact with the athletes there. And also direct contact with the city, Hangzhou, which is a very, very beautiful city. So it seems to me that all my colleagues here, all of you 3 are going there on site. So for 2 of you, that'll be for the coming week directly. So my question is, are you prepared now, and what are your plannings for the coverage to come?
Well, I haven't packed yet, if that's what you're asking.
Obviously, freshly finished.
Yeah,
the previous one.
Just waiting for my final batch of laundry to be finished, and then I'll be done. No, obviously for any event like this, it's always very exciting to go. You don't necessarily see so much of the actual city because you're busy working. So the bits of the city you do see are the venues, the villages, and things like that. So I am hoping to get out and see the city. I mentioned before we come in that if I could have a special sport, it would be ultimate dog walking, because Hangzhou is such a beautiful city full of trees and a fantastic environment, great air as well. So, I make a joke about it, but I genuinely would love to take my dog there. I think it'd be really fun.
He would be really happy.
I don't think he'd be very happy in the suitcase though.
For several hours, but after that he will be free after that.
And which sports, which competition are you most looking forward to?
Cricket.
Cricket?
Yeah.
Why cricket? Because most Chinese people don't know much about cricket.
Oh, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. The women's team is actually quite good.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the men are hopeless, but the women's team is actually quite good in the women's standings. I'm from the UK. We have a lot of Indian colleagues, a lot of Pakistani colleagues, people from Australia, New Zealand, South Africa. We all love cricket, and the West Indies as well. We're all big cricket fans, and it's a sport that it's difficult to describe. The only way I can try and understand or try and explain how I know all the rules is if you grow up with, I use this analogy quite a lot, if you grow up with one parent from one country and another parent from another country, you grow up speaking those languages, no matter what happens, right? It just sort of gets, bled into you. You don't know how it happened, but you grow up speaking 2 languages. No one taught you. So replace one of those parents with the rules of cricket, and that's how I know the rules. They're just seeped into me from an early age. I can't explain them. I don't really understand all of it myself. I just know that I know it. It's a complicated game,
kind of
but it is very fun to watch.
Like it's like a sport culture that you're born with.
Oh, absolutely. It is quintessentially British, and there's nothing more British than giving a sport to the world and then being bad at it.
That's perfect. And what about you, Imei? You're going there and covering the whole event. What's your plan for the coverage?
Well, my biggest mission or my biggest focus for Asian Games is definitely on esports, because actually this is the first time that esports has been labeled as an official event for Asian Games, the first time, and then it's kind of like a really important time for us as esports fans. Also, it's a great chance for people to know about how esports really compete as an official event in Olympic Games, in Asian Games. So I really want to first make a tour sports scene to see how audience are cheering for the players, and also if it's a good chance to make a vlog or just follow my camera and to let people know about how esports is doing on Asian Games.
And what about you, Shimon?
Well, my plan is to provide live updates and also interviews with athletes and officials. And I'm also really, really interested in those behind the scenes stories. Like, for example, I want to talk to those supportive roles, those staff working in different sports venues, like what it takes to become a starter in track and field, like how the chefs curate menus, the catering to the diverse tastes of athletes from different countries.
Yeah, I imagine that what's actually fascinating me the most is that what you can see every day on the TV screen is only part of their life.
Right.
And for journalists, what actually benefits from the journalists is that you can actually observing them their whole life and how they prepare for the matches, how they train for the matches, and what are the stories behind it, just as you mentioned.
Exactly.
What's the life in the village?
Right, right.
How their daily life.
Yeah, exactly.
I heard they have a really, really good menu. Yeah.
You gotta need to try it.
Yeah, definitely. There are, the culinary are so diverse because there are, athletes from different countries that have
yes.
different types of food. Yeah. And definitely I will also make vlogs, about the competition itself, my experience watching them. And speaking of, the competitions, as Vika just said, it is the first time that esports has become official, taking the stage in the Asian Games. So like our anticipation is on the record high. So what do you expect?
I know very little about esports, and I'm kind of skeptical when it comes to esports. Present company accepted, I know you're a huge fan, but you see these large amounts of money that's being bandied about now for the winners of esports. And when I was, I want to say, a bit younger, when I was playing video games a lot, I was actually playing Sonic before I came here. I love that game. Is there a Sonic competition? Because I'd win that.
You can invent one.
I'll invent one.
Suggesting, wow, we can actually put a new event there aside.
Oh, okay, I'm sure they'd let me in. But
Another milestone then.
there was all talk about esports growing into something bigger than the actual sport. Like I'm a huge football fan. People will be watching FIFA instead of going to Premier League football matches. Now that hasn't happened, right? That hasn't happened, and I've been very cynical about that. It hasn't happened, but I've been proved wrong in just how popular it's become, and just how much money that can be made from these players. And you look at places like South Korea, especially in Asia. So absolutely fair play for it growing. I think the next stage for esports is for people who aren't necessarily into it to know what's going on. For example, if you're not a football fan, you know when the World Cup's on. It's all around you. I don't think that esports got there yet, but in terms of it being lucrative and people being interested, it smashed it. Yeah.
And for me, I mean, I think it's esport. I know nothing about it, but I find it really bewildering. I know that it's on the same time, a lot of time spending on computer and also spent on training. So it has nothing to do with a certain passion or a certain hobby, because when you put it as your work, you need to be very serious with it. So that's the only little thing that I know about this. So I'll be very interested to know some more presentations or some more knowledges on this match and on this new event from, I think you are going to covering it, right?
Yes.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
If you play a sport and you train for a sport, you have to have your rest days, because if you're training every day, and I'm genuinely interested in this, you might have to rest your knee or your elbow or whatever. Like if you're staring at a screen all day, that's going to take its toll on your eyes and your brain and your vision maybe. Like what are the breaks and the sort of regulations surrounding that? Yeah.
Well, actually, they get up really late. I think they get up like noon or something. You know why? Because they stay up late. Just like how we play games, we always stay up late, right? And this is how like the players and when they prepare or training, like they stay up really late. And also, you're talking about like eyes, right? But actually, the most part they heard is about their hands, their neck. God, they have to sit there with the same position for like 12 hours per day. So yeah, this is some people like don't know about how esports can be a professional field for for sports. And this is also taking Asian Games as a great chance to let people know how they're training and what's the difference between play video games at home or being an esport pro player. Yeah. And also like as opposed to regular esport events that are competing among clubs, Asian Games actually are competing among nations. So the players actually, they are from different top clubs and they may never have played together. So this time, like, coming from different clubs, they are competing each other, right? And this time they have to form the same national team. I really want to see how they're, cooperate and also how the country like support the team as a national team.
Yeah, I know you have contacted with some esports players.
Yeah.
So do you know about how our Chinese team has been prepared?
Well, I, as far as I know, because I know little information, like right now, I think they're all like in the same, they're already in Hangzhou already for the training, and they're selected from like different clubs, and it's a great honor for them to be selected as, represent your country, right? And also I've contacted some players from Pakistan and India or like Sri Lanka through like social network, and then they were like, oh, they're so excited to be not only for like Hangzhou to China, and they're so excited in Asian Games because it's kind of like it's a chance. It's the first time for they're being recognized as a pro player. Like people are now looking saying, okay, you're just addicted to video games. You're a pro player and you are representing your country. So it's like a really great honor, for each player. Oh, see, I'm representing my country, and to win honor for my country.
The individual recognition, and I imagine that for some countries they wouldn't have always the same training conditions or the same competition conditions all the time. So this time that'll be interesting for them actually to be gathering together in the same city, with the same facilities, and to compete, and especially when it's about Asian Games for all Asian countries competing together.
Yeah, this is also, I wonder, just like Max said, like it's not like a FIFA or like a soccer game that everyone knows, oh, it's a World Cup or something. Esports still like developing, and then like for our country or the different Asian countries, they have their different speed, different pace. So like in this time, I also want to take a chance to meet other players from different countries. I wonder how esports develop in their countries and how their audience love the esports games. Do just like ours, like Z generation right now, like we're so like enthusiastic for the games.
Yeah,
I wonder.
Wow, really looking forward to it.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Vika. And now let's take a look at a video introducing esports in China.
Esports will make its debut as a medal event at the upcoming 19th Asian Games in Hangzhou, the capital of China's Zhejiang province, in September. 7 video games will be included in the esports category. China is now the largest esports market in the world, with revenue reaching 144.5 billion yuan in 2022, an increase of nearly 70 billion yuan over 2017. As of the end of 2022, there were nearly 488 million esports players in China, 25.7% of whom were fans of shooting games, making it China's most popular game type.
Well, we also have a special guest to join us online. He is the esports commentator in this year's Asian Games. Sanfeng, hello Sanfeng, good to see you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you well. How are you doing today?
Wow. Yeah, I'm fine, and I'm a caster for esports, and specifically, I'm a caster for League of Legends for 3 years. So I'm very honored to be here to share some of my opinions of esports.
Well, welcome you. And as a esports commentator in the Asian Games, what preparations have you made? I'm really curious about that. And based on your understanding, what preparations has the Chinese team made?
Okay, so starting from me, I have prepared so much for casting the League of Legends in the Hangzhou Asian Games, and in June, during the June 15th to 20th, I have been casting the Road to Asian Games. That is kind of preparation for this Asian game, and Team China got very good result in that competition, in that championship. So that is part of my preparation. And for the whole team, for the whole country, for the whole industry, I think we made many preparation for the Hangzhou Asian Game. Like we've shortened our League of Legends Pro League for about a month, and it started it ended at about September, at the very beginning of September for last year, for the year before last year. But in this year, we ended our summer split at August 8th. So Team China can have a full month to get prepared for the Hangzhou Asian Games. And not only for the 6 members, for the 6 players that will be standing on the Hangzhou Asian Games stage, but also so many players that will like imitating the other countries' players' play style, and they will compete with those 6 players that will be standing on the Hangzhou Asian Games stages. So we have made so many preparations, and I think we are confident in the Hangzhou Asian Games in League of Legends.
Yeah, and I know you are Generation Z, right? And so from your perspective, why do you think esports can become official in the Asian Games? And what changes do you think will occur in the industry after this?
Yeah, I think esports is sports rather than game. And I think because we have some good training system right now, rather than 10 years before, so esports coming into the Asian game can be approval, can be an attitude of approval from the other side of the world, from the outside of the world. And I think it will encourage more Generation Z that get into the world of esports. And I think in this industry, we are lacking in some talents, especially for some specific analysts that will be needing some specific like statistical educated backgrounds. And I think the esports coming into the Asian Games will encourage more wonderful Generation Z that with higher educated backgrounds coming into this industry.
All right, so what are the highlights of the esports competitions this year in the Asian Games? And as for you, which specific match do you most looking forward to, most excited about?
Yeah, because I'm a caster for League of Legends, so let's go in specific for this video game. I think Team China versus Team Korea could be my focus because these are the 2 best teams in the Asia or even in the world in this game. So maybe in quarterfinal, maybe in semifinal, and maybe in the final, Team China versus Team Korea will be the one match that we can't miss.
All right, thank you so much, Sanfeng. Really looking forward to watch those esports games in Hangzhou, and good luck to your commentating.
Yeah, thank you, and bye, guys.
Thank you so much, Sanfeng. And Vika.
Yeah, actually, like talking about the commentator,
right.
They actually have trained the commentators. Yeah, because like Asian Games is not only for esports fans, but for a much more broader audience. And so they've trained the commentator to use more common words rather than specific term to describe the game, the roles, whatever. So that's really another big change for training the commentators, so in order to let more people to know, oh, what's going on, what are the rules for these games. That's really impressive.
For me, it's already very difficult to understand the football games. There are different words, or even basketball games. So that would be a great idea, actually, to make all of the people, common people, to get to know what's happening there, right?
Right. And also, besides esports, there's also another, specially newly added designated game this year, the breakdancing, right? As Shanhui just mentioned, and this is also going to, be included in the coming 2024 Paris Olympic Games. So Shanhui French department is going to launch the special show, right? Tell us more about it.
We just finished the recording yesterday, and it was really interesting for me to also interviewing. I interviewed a French dancer who's now living in Shanghai for 2 years in breakdancing. So it's very interesting that how he shared his views about Chinese culture, and also how Chinese people, especially Chinese young people, the Gen Z, and also very, very young people who wish to learn the breakdancing. And I found it interesting because he was kind of comparing the breakdancing, because actually it's originated from the US and also very influenced by the African culture. There's kind of a culture differences when you do compare between China and France culture, or between the Chinese culture and also the Western culture. People, sometimes they need more courage actually to go to show and to perform this dance. But it's absolutely cool for young people, Chinese young people, to try this. And so this is what we were talking about, We Battle and We Battle, which is the name, the title of this program. We will be launching it in several days before the Asian Games. So by that time, CGTN French channel will be launching it online. And also for me, please do follow the Twitter account, Zhang Shanhui, and also the Facebook account, Zhang Shanhui, with the previous name called the Mont Pékin Express avec Shanhui. So I do invite you to follow these pages and these platforms. We will be launching all the videos and all the interviews that we have did on the breaking dances in China and how is it going in China. And also we also did some interviews with the breaking dancers. They're in Paris, in France, and how Paris, especially France for the 2024, for the coming year, how they are also preparing for the Olympic Games, where we can also see the breakdancing at that moment.
Yeah, I do have some questions about breakdancing itself, because I'm not really familiar with that. So there are many different forms of dance, right? So why do you think, why can breakdancing be such a competitive event?
Yeah, exactly. This is also the question that many people are asking, because breakdancing for many people, especially if we were in 2000 years or so, we won't say that this is the mainstream culture.
Right.
And now we have seen that this has been announced that first to be concluded in the Paris Games for 2024, and this is also the case for this time's Asian Games in Hangzhou. So why? People are actually asking these questions. So first one is because it's very physical demanding. Yeah. Even as every time you see the show, you see the performance during the matches, there'll be only 60 seconds. But actually behind, you need a lot of trainings. You need a lot of, especially the core to function. All your body need to be very, very implicated there. And also, what's also interesting is that this is the stylish dances, moves, and you have also the rhyme actually coming with the dance, and also that your body need to perform in front of everybody. So it's very interesting for you to see, because firstly it's physical demanding, and secondly there's music behind it, so that adds this interesting touch. You can actually feel the whole thing, not only with the physical and visual thing, but also when you hear the music and how the rhythm's going there and how the body is trying to adapt itself to the music. And then the third thing is that there is a battle, because you've got two teams that will be battle one to the other. So that's why this is the challenging part.
Okay.
So this is the reason why this dance is actually included this time in the Asian Games.
Okay, it sounds really difficult.
Very
like
difficult.
you said, physical demanding. So what if like ordinary people want to learn about it? Can ordinary people, like without any dance background, can they learn breakdancing?
Absolutely. Many people are actually asking, can I try this? This breakdancing, Mike, by the way, will you be willing to try it when we'll be Hangzhou?
Not with my knee, no. Of course, absolutely. I've got a bit of a dodgy knee, but I just want to carry on from what you just said there. I think it's super important. I don't know much about breakdancing either, but one thing you can tell when you see these guys and doing what they do, these fabulous boys and girls, absolutely nailing it with these very difficult movements. It's such a cool form of expression. And I think that has to be admired no matter what angle you're coming at it from. Even if you're not completely culturally into what they're doing, or you don't really necessarily know what's going on, depending on how you grew up, for example. It's such a cool form of expression. And it, you were saying it comes from New York, right? The working class, the mean streets of New York, as a form of expression, as a form of, letting your emotions out and letting your anger out, kind of thing. I just absolutely adore that kind of expression.
Yeah, exactly. It would be interesting actually to observing how the body moves. So I mean, it would be definitely a good thing if you're already a dance basic background, so that it'll be easier for you to get your body adapt to the different rhythms and also to the music, and also to have this, because in music also sometimes you have the aspirations. You got here's a break, here's the music is going there, continues there, so there is actually a rhythm. So it's better that if you have already some basics there. But I can give a very vivid example. There's a person called Peng Feilong, who is the sanitation worker from Zhejiang province. Actually, he has been practicing, by himself, just
self-learning.
Yeah, exactly, self-learning for already 40 years. Can you imagine that? 40 years. So now he is kind of a professional player already.
I think I've seen him
really
on Douyin.
Yeah, he's very famous now in Douyin.
Influencer already.
Exactly, and so he's actually practicing this dance, and also, and you will perhaps asking, where does he perform? But he performs in markets, everywhere. He performs in the streets.
Well, so street culture.
Exactly. So this is the typical street culture now in Zhejiang province. So it's actually very excellent news. And also today, there are more young parents actually wanting that their kids getting some education, not only like sports education for clubs, for tennis, for basketball, for football, but also this kind of breakdancing to get their children have a learning process about dance and also about music. So that will be very benefiting for the personal development.
I want to ask a question about
sure,
breakdancing actually. It's a very specific form of music that usually goes behind it. Like my first experience of breakdancing, I say experience, the first time I ever saw it was the Run the MC video. Do you remember in the car park? Right, that was like a battle, right? So that's what I associate it with, but I'm into like heavy rock and heavy metal. Could you breakdance to like Metallica or Slipknot? Is that impossible?
Not for the game.
No, I mean in general.
In general, you can try, definitely. But in the game is always associated with DJ music.
Okay.
So it's actually improvising also. This is the part, a very interesting part, because you have two teams there. You've got the red team and the blue team. And then actually every time it's improvising, which means that you've got 60 seconds. And then you've got the DJ who actually, he will pick up one music.
Any music for
and
you.
Yeah, so actually you don't know
they won't know the music,
advance.
right?
Oh, like a freestyle.
Exactly, so you will need to actually try to firstly guess what the music will be. And then you need to adapt yourself, improvising totally to the music. So that's why all the basic gestures, all the trainings every day, all your muscles and the body. So that's why it's very, it's interesting to look, because even neither me nor you could foresee what's going to happen and could predict what kind of music is going to come. So all in 60 seconds. So this is also the part that fascinating many people. So it's very easy to see, but it's difficult actually to practice it.
Right. So there are some like certain rules about this actual competition. Now, what are the requirements for these participating athletes?
The requirements for these participating athletes, I would say that firstly, they will need to be very persistent. They will need to be there practicing a lot. And for them, this time, I think we didn't really had restrictions. So all young people, they can try participating in this game. And I think that would be definitely a great idea for you to be there and to observing how the games are actually going. And there's one thing that I would like to add, that it was in 2020 that the International Olympic Committee, the IOC Executive Committee Board, has agreed actually to add the 4 new events to the 2024 Paris Olympic Games, which is breakdancing, and the other one is the skateboarding, sport climbing, and also the surfing. Why? Many people are asking, so is this associated with
the youth?
The youth.
They want to appeal more to the youth, right?
Yeah,
they were worried that they were being out of date with a lot of people. So no, it is.
It is.
It is. That's
I know this is what it is. The second reason. Actually, I was going to bring to the second reason.
There's 2 reasons.
Yeah. So
he told me himself.
The first reason.
No, sorry, but I do know that the the first reason was that they were worried that the Olympic program was getting out of date. So they got these new hip sports to appeal to the youth of the nation. And skateboarding, for example, they're all 15 years old, aren't they? Same as sports climbing.
Yeah.
But it's actually a good news that this kind of included this time inside. And so that's why for the Asian Games, we see the appearance of the breakdancing here in Asia. And actually, there's also another reason. It's because France trying to show its specialties and saying that when we talk about France, people are always say, wow, this is a romantic country. But also, France is also the second largest country in hip-hop culture. So that's why when you're talking about La Stade de France, which is in Paris, the France National Stadium, also in the outskirts of Paris. So that's also a very popular place for young people, and also very known for its hip-hop culture. You're from the UK, so you would definitely know there's a very strong hip-hop culture there in France. So this is also a way actually to demonstrate the hip-hop part, the culture for the Gen Z, for young generation coming for the breakdancing. So I'll be very looking forward to see how is this going on for the Asian Games and also for the Olympic Games for the coming year in Paris.
Right. And I know you have prepared a little
Exactly.
challenging game for us.
Right, that would be kind of challenging, but actually
It's not breakdancing, is it?
it's also related to breakdancing, but I would perhaps invite you to
Well,
Not gonna get me
before
to
you
breakdancing.
start, let's
Yeah.
just first take a look at the host city, Hangzhou. Stay tuned while Shanhui prepares her game. We'll be right back after the video. Oh, it's a lovely animation produced with paper cutting. So cute.
So welcome back to this trivia session, Shanhui's trivia. So we've got our colleagues will actually put the questions here on the screen so all our friends can have a look on these questions. So please welcome the first question. Let's look at on the screen. How many medals, gold medals are expected for the breakdancing event at the Hangzhou Asian Games this time? Please write down your answers and we'll see what are your answers. I will say 3, 2, 1.
And show the answer.
Yeah, please show the answer.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, prepared.
Really?
Really? Let me check. Okay, B,
We're
B,
all
and B.
choosing. Yeah.
Unfortunately, the correct answer is is A.
Only 2?
How come?
Only
I think it's
2.
gonna compete with like at least with like a man and a women.
And
no?
a team.
This time it will be only 2. So there will be only 2 gold medals, which means there will be only 2 sessions actually gold medals. But I mean, for them, for competing, for getting these 2 gold medals, they will definitely need to have the semifinals, finals,
Okay.
and all of these. So and also this time there will be only 2 days for the Hangzhou Asian Games. So do go to have a look about
Okay, so
how this will be going on.
One
So
per day or?
1 per day.
Okay.
So now let's pass to the second question. In
That's
which
easy.
city did breakdancing originate?
That's an easy one.
A from Korea, South Korea, Seoul. The B, Buenos Aires, Argentina, and C, New York City, US. 3, 2, 1. Let me show you. Okay, let me have a look. C, C, and C. Wow,
Right.
that's perfect. Congratulations to all you three. So it's this is actually originated from the New York City, and also it has African American and Puerto Rican communities of the South Bronx in the New York City during the early the time of 1970s. So the emergence was tied closely with the rise of the hip-hop culture that we just mentioned before, and then which also encompasses not only just the dance, but also the DJ, the rapping, and graffiti art in New York at that time. So there's more people, for example, we will need to mention the DJ Cool here. We need to mention also the influence, the cultural influence after that, because from 1970 till today, it has already been 50 years. So there has also been during this 50 years, like different kind of hosting parties, different kind of films talking about the hip hop culture actually coming up, and this is what actually influenced the youth. So today they are called B-boys and B-girls, those actually who do the breakdancing, and also who is actually interested in the hip hop culture. Okay, so let's go to the third question. The third question, in breakdancing music, what is the part called where the rhythm remains but the melody drops out? A, break, B, refrain, and C, bridge. Okay, so let me see your answers. So for Yimei, that's C, for Shimong it's A, and for Mike it's A.
I think it's an easy one.
So, what is the correct
break
answer?
is like, you know, music stops, that's break.
There's a reason why it's called breakdancing.
Isn't bridge a move? It's a move where you like go backwards. That's because you make your back look like a bridge.
I would say congratulations, Mike and Shimon.
Sorry.
That's A is the correct answer. So that part is called break. Directly with the break dancing, so break. That's the time.
We keep in school.
Yeah, we keep the school.
Okay, good.
So now, for now, Mike.
Prize.
2,
Is there
right?
a prize?
2.
Is there a prize?
Yeah, there will be a prize after that.
Really?
Yeah, I prepared you a little prize, but only for one person. So I thought
And already a step behind.
No, not yet, because we're also having one another coming. So Mike now 2, Shimon 2, and Yimei
Okay.
1.
Match point now.
And let's go to the other one. So when did the breaking first appear on the Olympic stage? Please pay attention here. I said appeared on the Olympic stage. The appearance.
I honestly didn't remember it came on 2008.
Oh.
No, not
Sorry, I'm not right in the letter.
I think Mike
Actually,
just wrote
what I did,
2008.
I didn't review the answers during the rehearsal. So
This is what happens when you don't turn up to rehearsal, isn't it?
So let me let you please show your answers to our audience.
Oh yeah, okay, I'm not.
So Mike has B, which is you think is in 2012, and Shimon for C.
Can I explain why I think it's 2012?
2012.
Sure. And for Imei, that's 2012. So we've got the same answers, Mike and Imei.
Well,
why, Mike? Please tell the reason.
Well, from what I remember, and I was very young at the time, obviously.
How old were you at the time?
22.
Oh, wow.
In 2012. Yeah, nice one. Yeah. Did it appear on, the only thing I remember about the opening ceremony now is Mr. Bean.
Yeah,
And I think there was breakdancing at the opening ceremony in London 2012, which is why I put B. Am I right?
Opening
Because when
ceremony.
we're talking about,
But you said Olympic stage.
I should have precised actually the question on Olympic stage. That's right, Olympic, because I put Olympic stage. So every time there's performance, even from distance, it counts, right?
So it's in London, right?
Actually, like the answer that I prepared is the first time it was in 2018 in Buenos Aires Youth Olympic Games that
okay.
the breakdancing was included as an official competition at that time. So so actually
okay.
it started as an official competition. It started at that time in Buenos Aires 2018 as a competition. So that's actually a competition for young people, for youth, and then later on we got the Paris 2024, who that actually included this breakdancing officially as a game.
So half a point.
Half point, yeah.
No
half
kidding.
point.
I don't even know if I'm right there.
How
I don't even know
many,
if I'm
how
right.
many do we have? So Mike 2.5.
I'm joking, you have to do that.
1.5 for Ime, and for Shimon.
3.
Congratulations, Shimon!
Yes.
I actually don't have, I have no idea about the answer. I just think it's a pretty new thing. So I chose, you know, the
Just
2018. Yeah, but yeah, what's my prize?
Yeah, I'll give you after. But anyway, congratulations again, Shimon.
Thank you.
And that's the end of Shanhui's trivia, and hope you all enjoyed it. And yeah, and actually I tried not revealing any responses during the rehearsal period yesterday. So
And I think you changed, you know, the answers a little bit, right? It's different from yesterday.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
You didn't?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
You had no excuse then.
But I won.
I wasn't even here.
Congratulations.
You'll even get more points than me.
All right, so yeah, this is really fun. Thank you for letting us know so much about breakdancing. Now, you are watching Beyond Medals. Stay tuned, and we'll have more coming up after the break.
Known as Paradise on Earth, Hangzhou in East China boasts beautiful natural scenery, rich history, and a fast-growing economy. Is now the host city of the 19th Asian Games. 40 sports, 481 events, 56 venues, 16 days. The Asian Games have come to China for the third time. Join us for our special coverage of the largest sports meet of a dynamic Asia. September 23rd to October the 8th on CGTN.
So 3 of you are going to be in Hangzhou in several days to covering this Asian Games. So what have you planned to bring there? Have you any plans to bring some special items there?
Yes, absolutely. I'll start. I'm just so focused on what Nick is going there.
Save the best
Sorry,
for the
no,
last.
absolutely.
We'll go back to it
My
later.
mind is very focused at the moment. What on earth is going on there? We'll start a bit more normal here. This
Wow.
this is a Run for the Trees medal. It's something that I've done for the past 2 years.
I'm just very curious.
Yes, my fiance's family got me involved in it. Basically, it is something that you do to raise awareness for keeping the trees alive. It is with a picture of Bob Ross. It is with the, I think, with the Bob Ross Foundation. If you don't know who Bob Ross was, he was a painter. He used to paint these fantastic skylines of trees, and it's to raise awareness of the environment. And sorry, I've just got that in my head at the moment. I need to remove it. Raising awareness for the environment and, you know, keeping trees alive, because obviously I'm a bit of an environmentalist and I really believe in sustainability. So obviously Hangzhou, famous for trees and being a lovely environment. I'd love to get a picture of me with
where did you got this medal?
I got it sent to me because you have to do the run for you have to run 5K. Doesn't matter where you are, you do it and then you get the medal
Oh wow.
sent to you. So my second one, just bought the one in. Yeah, so I'd like to have a picture next to some lovely scenery with this on. Yeah, because there's no more spectacular trees than in Hangzhou.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So that would be actually great for you to
Yeah.
observing
Meaningful.
the trees.
Is that meaningful? Sorry, yeah, meaningful.
I think, during your presentations, you were talking about the trees and also the ecology part. So this time, during the Asian Games, will there be any observations from your part during the report about how the green development are actually influencing Hangzhou and has been, included in part of the Asian Games this time?
Yeah, I don't think you can avoid it really, because it's such an important part any international event to make sure that the environment is looked after and you're basically reaching zero emissions with what you're putting out and stuff. I do think that's extremely important. I hope we do get the chance to touch on it. It's something very close to my heart. But you're going to have to ask my boss. He's the one who's going to tell me where to go.
But it's really a good idea to bring up to all the green development and also the SDG issues about the sustainable development, even for Asian games, even for a sport game, right? And since you have been always focusing on what Ime has in her hands, so show us, Ime, what has made Mac so distracted?
Okay, so these actually are fan-making products.
So happy I didn't come rehearsal.
Yeah, so like
Put it on.
Really? After Mike put the medal on, I'm going to put it.
Yeah.
See, I just poured my heart out there about something that's really meaningful, and that looks cool, but
Okay, let me show you how that's gonna work.
Oh wow!
Okay, so these are fan-making products. Like they made it for the players, and also like they have the ID for the players to put like this to show their support
for esports.
So yes, like I got this from my previous like game watching experience. Fan made this, and they may sell or distribute it, to the audience at the scene. I think you're probably gonna see a lot during the Asian Games, especially for esport events, like audience. Like us, we're having like different version of different version of this.
can I have a go?
He's also going to participate.
Yeah,
in the
this player is also going to the Asian Games. I'm gonna bring this. Literally, I'm gonna bring this, and I'm going to take this to him and take a photo together. If I can have it.
During your reporting, you will just hold this up, and
I feel like he can't stop you laughing just like us. He will be so surprised. He didn't know
Can I have a
this.
go?
He wanted to try.
I want to have a go.
Okay, yeah, just.
Oh, wow.
Wow. But my question is that will he be able to see it during the game?
Well, if he's not that focused enough on his screen, he can see it from the from the bigger screen.
This is like some sort of demented puppet. Poor guy. He's trained his whole life. And what is he reduced to? This. This. I tell you what.
The gift from China. He will remember this. Yeah, so yeah,
you can keep that.
I'm just gonna bring this, and I'm gonna get a new one. Like I have plenty of them for this year for the new players, and try to fully experience esport events like an audience.
Wow. It would be interesting to see the reactions when they see this on site.
Just like us, can't stop laughing. I think.
Exactly.
Sorry, didn't let you know before.
It's fine.
And what about you, Shinmon?
well, now it makes mine so boring. Well, I prepared mooncakes.
Oh, beautiful
mooncakes.
mooncakes.
Yeah,
By
yeah.
the way, this is a CMG.
Yeah, it's our
brand.
CGTN CMG product, mooncakes. So because this year, the Mid-Autumn Festival is going to be during the Asian Games on September 29th. And I know that many other Asian countries are also, have similar festival.
Yeah.
They're also going to share, celebrate this day. So I'm hoping that I can invite some athletes from different countries, to celebrate Mooncake Festival together, to appreciate a full moon, to taste the mooncakes, and exchange our culture.
What flavor did you bring?
Ooh, let me see.
Man, so many different flavors actually.
Yeah. There are 3 flavors inside. I'm going to keep this as a secret until they try them. Let's see which flavor they love the most.
Exactly. Yeah, to see which kind of mooncake that the foreign athletes like the most, and that could present a very good opportunities for the mooncakes fabricants here in China, right?
All right. I think there's not much time left for the program. Let's see. I read some comments online. I'm searching, looking for comments on YouTube.
Oh wow, you've got already lots of comments here.
Right. So this is Rick from YouTube. He's saying we are very excited to see this happens. Finally, China in a row can hold international events. Oh, we had Winter Olympics. This brings to show the world how China is a beautiful country, peaceful, and welcome all of the participants from different countries and cultures.
Thank you. This is Rick Warnart.
Right.
A8504.
Yeah, I hope you are still there watching us. And Carl Yon commented that hopefully the whole experience being pleasant, exciting, and a vibrant expression of Asian culture, tech included.
Thank you for this comment.
Yeah. Fresh, locally grown food.
I want to try that too, local.
Oh yeah, Hangzhou has very, very good cuisine there. Yeah, Hangbang Cai, what we say in Chinese. Asian Games bring solidarity, friendship, and understanding amongst the diverse cultures of this ancient landmass. I think that's the most important thing. Yeah. And also, we have conducted a survey online before our show, asking people what they expected the most from this year's Asian Games. And here's the result. Looking at the poll result, well, 48% of people voted exciting competitions by world-class athletes. Ooh, and then followed by the second and third have 21% vote, both of them, showcasing diverse Asian cultures and beautiful sceneries and architecture of Hangzhou. So yeah, I really think Hangzhou is the perfect place for you to take the picture.
Of course, that's the whole point of having my little
the
medal.
trees, and hopefully with your dog. But
Yeah, hopefully my dog, next time.
And also after that, we still have people voted for vibrant atmosphere at the Asian Games Village and venues, and also volunteering to contribute to the games. Oh, very nice. So yeah, I think you will see all of the above if you stay tuned with our Beyond Medals, because we'll have more coverage coming to you from Hangzhou, from the Asian Games.
exactly.
And that's all for the program. And don't forget to follow CGTN on social media. And see you in Hangzhou for next episode.
See you.
Bye-bye. See you.
Bye-bye.